Chosen ones, hear this with your spirit and not just your ears, because this is not a random message, and this is not arriving by accident. There is a moment approaching in your life that will feel ordinary on the surface, but it carries divine timing underneath it. God says someone is coming to your door, and when they arrive, everything you thought you understood about delay, silence, and waiting will begin to make sense. This is not about coincidence. This is about orchestration. For a long time, you have been praying quietly, sometimes loudly, sometimes with words, sometimes with tears you could not explain. You have been asking God when things would shift, when the pressure would lift, when the breakthrough would finally show up. And God says, pay attention, because the answer is closer than you think, and it will not come the way you imagined. You see, you expected a sudden miracle from the sky, a dramatic sign, a lightning bolt moment, but God often moves through people. God often delivers answers through conversations, through unexpected visits, through moments that seem small until they change everything. That knock at the door is not just physical, it represents an interruption. It represents a turning point. It represents God stepping into your routine and saying, today is different. You have been faithful in obscurity. You have endured seasons where no one clapped for you, where no one recognized your effort, where it felt like heaven itself was quiet. But heaven was not silent. Heaven was preparing someone, aligning circumstances, shaping timing, and now the alignment is almost complete. There were moments you almost gave up. Moments you questioned whether you heard God correctly in the first place. Moments you wondered if the promise was meant for someone else and not you. But chosen ones, the very fact that you are still standing is proof that God has been sustaining you for this moment. You didn't survive what you went through just to stay where you are. You were preserved because what's coming requires endurance, humility, and discernment. The surprise God is about to send is not just a blessing, it's an assignment. It's an opening. It's a connection that carries weight. God says this person coming to your door may not look like the answer at first. They may arrive casually. They may speak simply. They may not even realize the role they are about to play in your life. But God has already whispered your name into their spirit. God has already stirred their heart. They are being moved by something they cannot fully explain, just like you have been moved to wait, even when it was uncomfortable. This is how divine encounters work. They don't announce themselves with noise, they reveal themselves with impact. For a long time, you have been in preparation mode. God has been teaching you patience, sharpening your character, healing parts of you that could not go into the next season unaddressed. You thought the delay meant denial, but it was actually protection. There were doors you wanted to walk through earlier that would have broken you if they had opened too soon. There were opportunities you asked for that God blocked because they were beneath where He was taking you. Now, the surprise that's coming carries alignment, not chaos. It carries peace, not confusion. It carries clarity, not compromise. This is why the pressure increased before the breakthrough. This is why the opposition intensified. This is why the attacks became more subtle and more personal. The enemy sensed movement before you did. Resistance always rises when transition is near, but God says you are not behind, you are right on schedule. What feels like waiting is actually positioning. What feels like isolation is actually refinement, and what feels like uncertainty is actually the space where faith grows strongest. Chosen ones, be careful not to miss this moment by overthinking it. God says stay open, stay receptive, stay grounded. Not every blessing comes wrapped in excitement. Some come wrapped in responsibility. Some come disguised as conversations that challenge you, invitations that stretch you, or decisions that require courage. The person coming to your door may bring information, opportunity, resources, or confirmation. They may open a door you could not open yourself. They may speak a word that unlocks something dormant inside you, but whatever they bring, it will demand a response from you. This is not the season to shrink back. This is not the season to doubt your worth. You have spent too much time surviving to play small now. God did not bring you this far to leave you unfulfilled. The surprise that's coming will require you to step forward with confidence, not arrogance, but assurance. Assurance that God goes before you. Assurance that you are covered. Assurance that you are ready, even if you don't feel fully prepared. Remember how many times you thought it was over. Remember how many times you felt like giving up, like walking away, like settling for less, yet something in you refused to quit. That wasn't stubbornness, that was calling. That was divine persistence. That was God anchoring you to a future you couldn't yet see. And now that future is moving toward you step by step, moment by moment, heartbeat by heartbeat. God says, guard your heart in this season. Not everyone will understand what's happening in your life. Not everyone will celebrate the shift. Some will question it. Some will envy it. Some will try to distract you from it. But this is not their journey, it's yours. Stay focused, stay prayerful, stay aligned. The surprise God has prepared is not for validation, it's for transformation. There will be emotions when it happens: relief, gratitude, awe, even fear. That's normal. Big changes often carry mixed emotions, but don't let fear talk you out of what faith prayed you into. You didn't come this far by accident. You didn't endure those sleepless nights for nothing. You didn't cry those silent prayers to be ignored. Heaven has been listening the entire time. Chosen ones, understand this clearly. When that door opens, you are stepping into a new chapter. The old patterns cannot follow you. The old doubts cannot come with you. The old limitations no longer apply. God is shifting how you see yourself, how you see your future, and how you understand your purpose. This surprise is not just external, it's internal. It will change how you move, how you speak, how you decide. You may look back and realize that everything you went through was training. The rejection taught you resilience. The delay taught you discipline. The silence taught you how to hear God more clearly. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. Everything was intentional. And now God says, be ready to receive without guilt. Be ready to accept without apology. Be ready to walk forward without looking back. Because when God opens a door, He doesn't need permission from your past. He doesn't need approval from your critics. He doesn't need understanding from everyone around you. He simply needs your obedience. And obedience is what brought you this far. Obedience is what kept you standing when others walked away. Obedience is what positioned you for this moment. The knock is closer than you think. The timing is tighter than you realize. The shift is already in motion. Stay faithful in the small moments. Stay grateful in the waiting. Stay alert in your spirit. God is about to surprise you in a way that rearranges your priorities and redefines your path. And when it happens, you will understand why it couldn't come earlier, why it had to come now, and why it had to come through this specific moment, through this specific person, through this specific door, because everything about it has been carefully aligned to meet you exactly where you are and to carry you into where you are meant to be. And as you stand there on the edge of this unfolding moment, feeling the weight of anticipation and the quiet trembling of expectation, remember that the same God who carried you through the waiting is the same God who is guiding what comes next. And He is not finished yet, not even close, because this is only the beginning of what will unfold once you take that next step forward and allow what He has prepared to fully enter your life, even as your heart is still learning how to receive it and your mind is still catching up with what your spirit has already begun to recognize. And as that recognition settles deeper inside you, there will be moments when you pause and wonder if you are truly ready for what is unfolding, because readiness does not always feel like confidence. Sometimes it feels like vulnerability. Sometimes it feels like standing still while everything inside you shifts. God says that feeling is not weakness, it is awareness. It is the awareness that something sacred is happening, something that carries responsibility as much as reward. You are stepping into a season where discernment matters more than speed, where listening matters more than speaking, where obedience matters more than explanation. There will be subtle confirmations along the way, small signs that reassure you that you are not imagining this, that you are not forcing something that is not meant to be, a word spoken at the right time, a door opening without resistance, a peace that settles even when the future is still unclear. These are the fingerprints of God. Learn to recognize them. Learn to trust them. You don't need to rush ahead or lag behind. Just keep moving in rhythm with what God is doing now, not what He did yesterday, not what He might do tomorrow, but what He is doing in this moment. You have spent a long time being strong for others, carrying burdens that were never meant to be yours, showing up when no one showed up for you. God saw every sacrifice, every compromise, every quiet act of faith, and now He is saying that this season will not drain you the way the last one did. This season will refill you. It will restore parts of you that grew tired from always pouring out. The person coming into your life, the opportunity opening before you, the surprise unfolding around you, it carries mutual exchange, not depletion. Be mindful of how you speak in this season. Words have weight when transition is near. Don't cancel your own blessings with doubt-filled language. Don't minimize what God is magnifying. Even when you don't fully understand what is happening, choose words of faith over fear. Speak life over yourself. Speak alignment over your path. Speak gratitude even before everything makes sense. Gratitude keeps your heart open, and an open heart can receive what a guarded heart will block. You may notice that some relationships begin to shift. Conversations feel different. Connections feel misaligned. This is not loss, it is sorting. God often rearranges your environment before He elevates your position. Not everyone can go where you are going, and that doesn't make them bad, it just means phi. Our assignment in your life has reached its end. Bless them, release them, and keep moving forward without resentment. What's ahead requires clarity, not clutter. There will be moments when you feel stretched beyond your comfort zone, invitations that challenge your self-image, responsibilities that feel bigger than you. But remember, God never calls you into something without equipping you along the way. You don't receive all the strength at once, you receive it step by step as you need it. Trust the process. Trust the growth. Trust that what feels unfamiliar now will soon feel natural. The surprise God is bringing will also reveal how much you have grown. You will handle situations differently than you would have before. You will respond with wisdom instead of reaction. You will pause instead of panicking. This is evidence of maturity. This is evidence of healing. This is evidence that the waiting season did its work. You are not the same person you were when you first prayed for this, and that is exactly why you can handle it now. There may be moments when old fears try to resurface, whispering reminders of past failures or disappointments, but those voices no longer have authority over you. They belong to a version of you that survived, not the version of you that is stepping forward now. You don't have to relive old pain to prove new strength. You don't have to revisit old wounds to validate new opportunities. God has already closed those chapters. Keep your eyes on what is opening. Stay attentive to timing. Not everything needs to be shared immediately. Not every blessing needs to be announced. Some things are meant to be protected while they grow. Move with wisdom, move with humility, move with confidence that does not need applause. God is your witness. That is enough. As you walk through this unfolding season, you will notice that your priorities shift. Things that once consumed your energy will no longer matter as much. Things you once chased will no longer excite you. This is alignment. This is focus. This is clarity replacing confusion. Don't fight it. Let your desires evolve. Let your vision sharpen. Let your purpose rise to the surface. There will be divine acceleration in some areas. Things that once took years will begin to happen in months. Things that once felt impossible will feel accessible. But acceleration requires discipline. Stay grounded, stay prayerful, stay connected to the source. Speed without direction leads to burnout, but speed with alignment leads to impact. You will also begin to see how God uses your story to encourage others, not by preaching, but by example. Your resilience will speak, your peace will speak, your transformation will speak. People will notice the shift before you announce it. They will ask questions. They will seek guidance. Be generous with wisdom, but remember that you are still growing too. The surprise that changes everything is not just about what you gain, but about who you become. Expansion often happens internally before it becomes visible externally. Be patient with yourself. Growth is not always comfortable, but it is always purposeful when God is involved. There will be days when the weight of responsibility feels heavy. Days when you long for the simplicity of the past. But don't romanticize seasons God has already moved you out of. You were faithful there, and now you're being trusted with more. Responsibility is a sign of trust. God does not entrust valuable assignments to unprepared hands. Listen closely. In quiet moments, God will continue to guide you with gentle nudges, subtle impressions, and inner peace. You don't need constant signs. You need consistent connection. Make space for stillness. Make space for reflection. Make space for gratitude and Remember, this unfolding is not a race, it is a journey. You don't have to have everything figured out today. Just need to take the next right step, one decision at a time, one moment at a time, one act of obedience at a time. As you continue forward, there will be confirmations that remind you why you waited, why you endured, why you held on when letting go seemed easier. Those confirmations will strengthen your faith for future seasons. They will remind you that God is faithful, even when the process is uncomfortable. You are not alone in this. Even when it feels isolating, God is closer than ever. He is guiding conversations, aligning schedules, opening pathways you cannot yet see. Trust His timing, trust His wisdom, trust His plan, because what is unfolding now is layered, intentional, and purposeful. Each step is building upon the last. Each moment is preparing you for the next. And as you continue to move forward, staying attentive, staying faithful, staying open, you will begin to realize that the surprise God spoke about was never just a single event, but a series of moments that collectively reshape your life. And you are already walking into the early stages of it, even now, as your spirit adjusts to the new rhythm and your heart learns how to carry what it once only hoped for. And there's still so much more ahead, more depth, more clarity, more unfolding, more becoming, as this journey continues to expand beyond what you thought was possible, carrying you further into purpose, further into alignment, further into the life that has been quietly forming all along, step by step, moment by moment, without pause, without retreat, without turning back, as the path continues to open before you. And as that path continues to open, you may notice that your awareness sharpens in ways you did not expect, like your spirit has learned how to listen between the I needs of everyday life. Ordinary moments begin to feel significant. Small decisions feel weightier. This is because you are no longer moving blindly, you are moving intentionally. God is training you to recognize alignment not by noise, but by peace. When something is right, it settles you. When something is off, it unsettles you. Trust that sensitivity. It has been developed through every trial you survived. You will begin to understand why certain doors stayed closed no matter how hard you knocked. You will see how those closed doors redirected you, protected you, and preserved you for what required a clearer heart and a steadier mind. God does not waste resistance. He uses it to refine direction. And now, as resistance decreases in certain areas, it is not because you are pushing harder, but because you are finally positioned correctly. There will be moments when you are tempted to rush ahead, to secure everything at once, to lock in outcomes prematurely. But God says slow does not mean stagnant. Sometimes moving slowly is how you stay aligned. Sometimes patience is the final test before expansion. You have waited long enough to know that forcing outcomes only leads to unnecessary struggle. What is meant for you will not require anxiety to maintain it. Pay attention to your intuition in this season. God often speaks through that quiet, knowing you cannot fully explain. It is not fear, it is discernment. It is not doubt, it is wisdom. You have earned this discernment through experience, through heartbreak, through disappointment, through prayer. Let it guide you now as you step into unfamiliar territory. You may find yourself standing at crossroads that require decisive action, choices that will shape the next chapter of your life. Do not be afraid to choose. Indecision can delay what obedience accelerates. Even if the path is not fully visible, clarity often comes after the first step, not before it. God meets movement with direction. There will be conversations that feel divinely timed, words spoken that land deeply, almost as if they were prepared specifically for you. These are not accidents. God is confirming his guidance through people, through moments, through alignment that cannot be fabricated. Stay present, stay attentive. Don't dismiss what feels meaningful. As things begin to shift externally, be mindful of maintaining inner balance. Success without peace is not success. Expansion without grounding leads to burnout. God is not just elevating you, he is stabilizing you. He is teaching you how to carry increase without losing yourself. This is why rest will matter as much as action. Reflection will matter as much as productivity. You may notice that your tolerance for chaos decreases. Environments that once felt manageable now feel draining. This is not weakness, it is awareness. You are outgrowing survival mode. You are stepping into stewardship mode. Protect your energy, protect your focus, protect your peace. Not everything deserves your attention anymore. There will be times when you look around and realize that your life no longer resembles what you once prayed for because it has grown beyond it. God often answers prayers by expanding them. What started as a simple request becomes a layered calling. What began as a desire becomes a responsibility. Don't be intimidated by the scale of it. You are growing into it. In this season, humility will keep you grounded and confidence will keep you moving. Balance both. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Let your consistency speak. Let your integrity lead. Let your actions reflect your faith. You have nothing to defend and nothing to hide. There may be moments when the pace feels uneven. Rapid progress followed by quiet pauses. This is normal. Growth is no. Linear. God uses pauses to integrate what you've learned, to strengthen your foundation before adding more weight. Don't interpret pauses as setbacks. They are preparation. Be careful not to romanticize struggle now that ease is beginning to appear. You are allowed to enjoy progress. You are allowed to receive joy without suspicion. You are allowed to experience peace without waiting for it to be taken away. Trauma teaches you to brace for loss. Faith teaches you to trust in provision. As the surprise continues to unfold, you will see how interconnected everything is. One decision leads to another. One encounter opens multiple pathways. One yes unlocks a series of opportunities. This is momentum, but it is not accidental. It is the result of obedience meeting timing. There will be moments when you are called to lead, even if you never saw yourself that way before. Leadership does not always look like authority. Sometimes it looks like example. Sometimes it looks like presence. Sometimes it looks like restraint. You are being shaped into someone others can trust, not just admire. God will also stretch your capacity for forgiveness. Old hurts may resurface, not to reopen wounds, but to release final layers of bitterness that no longer belong in your future. Forgiveness is not about excusing what happened. It is about freeing yourself from carrying it forward. You cannot move fully into the next season while holding on to the weight of the last. There may be times when you feel misunderstood, especially as your values become clearer and your boundaries firmer. That is okay. Clarity often disrupts comfort. You are not responsible for managing everyone's perception of you. Stay true to what you know God has placed in your heart. As your vision sharpens, distractions will attempt to pull you off course. opportunities that look good but feel wrong, invitations that flatter your ego but drain your spirit. Learn to say no without guilt. Every no protects a yes that truly matters. You will begin to trust yourself again, not in a prideful way, but in a grounded way. You will trust your judgment, your discernment, your instincts. This trust has been rebuilt slowly through consistency and self-awareness. Honor it. Don't second guess what you have prayed through. There will be moments of gratitude that catch you off guard. Quiet realizations of how far you've come. Small reminders of answered prayers you forgot you even prayed. Let those moments anchor you. Gratitude keeps you connected to the journey, not just the destination. You may feel called to simplify certain areas of your life, to declutter not just your space, but your commitments, your thoughts, your expectations. Simplification creates clarity. Clarity creates alignment. Alignment creates momentum. God is also teaching you how to hold success lightly. Not to cling to it, not to fear losing it, but to steward it responsibly. What you grip tightly controls you. What you hold with open hands remains in proper perspective. There will be times when you are asked to trust without full explanation, to move without guarantees, to step forward without a safety net. This is where faith becomes action, not reckless action, but intentional obedience. God has proven himself faithful before. He will do it again. As you continue walking, you will notice that your prayers change. They become less about asking and more about aligning, less about urgency and more about understanding, less about control and more about trust. This is maturity. This is depth. You are stepping into a phase where your presence carries weight, where your words influence outcomes, where your decisions impact more than just you. This is not meant to intimidate you. It is meant to ground you. Influence requires integrity. There may be moments when you feel the temptation to look back, to compare, to question whether a different path would have been easier. But remember, ease is not the goal. Purpose is, growth is, alignment is, and you are exactly where you need to be to continue becoming who you are meant to be. As the days unfold, you will notice that fear no longer has the same voice it once did. It may still whisper, but it no longer leads. Faith has taken the lead now. Experience has strengthened it. Evidence has reinforced it. You will begin to recognize that the surprise God spoke of is still unfolding in layers. What you thought was the peak was only the entrance. What you thought was the destination was only the beginning of a broader landscape. And this realization will stretch your vision even further. Stay curious. Stay teachable. Stay anchored. Growth requires flexibility. Rigidity breaks under expansion. Allow yourself to evolve. Allow your understanding to deepen. Allow your identity to mature. You may find yourself drawn to stillness more than noise, to depth more than surface, to meaning more than validation. This is alignment. This is refinement. This is the fruit of seasons spent listening when it would have been easier to distract yourself. And as this journey continues, you will notice that your confidence is quieter now, less performative, more rooted. You no longer need to announce your progress, you embody it. You no longer need approval, you have clarity. There will be moments when the weight of responsibility presses on you again, reminding you that purpose is not always comfortable. But comfort was never the calling. Fulfillment was, impact was, alignment was. As you move forward, keep your heart soft and your boundaries strong. Compassion does not require self-betrayal. Love does not require exhaustion. You can be kind and discerning at each. At the same time, God is continuing to shape your character in subtle ways, teaching you patience and success, humility and growth, gratitude and abundance. These qualities will sustain you far longer than excitement ever could. You are learning how to walk with confidence without rushing, with intention without rigidity, with faith without fear. This balance is rare, and it has been forged through experience, not theory. And as you stand in this unfolding season, aware that more is still ahead, more is still forming, more is still aligning, understand that this journey does not pause here. It keeps moving, it keeps expanding, it keeps revealing new layers of purpose and understanding as you continue forward, grounded yet open, steady yet expectant, walking step by step into what is still unfolding with no need to rush the process, no need to force the outcome, no need to conclude what God is still actively writing, because this story is still in motion, still breathing, still becoming, carrying you onward into everything that has yet to reveal itself. And as that forward motion continues, there will be a deeper settling within you, a quiet assurance that replaces the urgency you once felt, because urgency belonged to the season of survival, and you are no longer merely surviving. You are learning how to live with intention, how to move with clarity instead of pressure. God is teaching you that when alignment is real, you don't have to chase what is meant for you. What is meant for you meets you where obedience has already positioned you. There will be days when progress feels invisible, Days when nothing dramatic happens, when no clear sign appears, when the silence feels heavier than the movement. Do not mistake these days for stagnation. Roots grow in silence. Strength builds quietly. God does some of his most important work in moments that never make noise. Trust He unseen work. Trust the process you cannot fully measure. You may begin to sense a greater responsibility for how you steward your time. Wasted moments will feel heavier. Distractions will lose their appeal. This is not because you are becoming rigid, but because you are becoming purposeful. Purpose brings focus. Focus brings discipline. Discipline brings freedom. God is freeing you from patterns that once kept you stuck in cycles of delay and distraction. There will be moments when old temptations return, not because you are weak, but because growth is being tested. Familiar habits, familiar comforts, familiar escapes will try to pull you back into old rhythms. But those rhythms no longer fit who you are becoming. You have outgrown them. And outgrowing something often feels uncomfortable before it feels empowering. God is sharpening your discernment in relationships as well. You will feel a stronger sense of when to engage and when to step back, when to speak and when to remain silent. Silence will no longer feel like suppression. It will feel like wisdom. Not every truth needs to be voiced immediately. Some truths need time to mature before they can be shared responsibly. As you continue forward, you may notice that your tolerance for compromise decreases. You will no longer bend your values to fit into spaces God never designed for you. This may cost you certain opportunities, certain approvals, certain shortcuts, but shortcuts always cost more in the long run. God is building something sustainable, not something flashy and fragile. There will be moments when you are invited into rooms that once felt unreachable, spaces where your presence would have intimidated the earlier version of you. Walk in with humility, but do not shrink. You belong where God places you. You do not need to apologize for the growth He has done in you. You may feel a deeper sense of responsibility toward your inner life, guarding your thoughts, monitoring your emotional responses, choosing peace over reaction. This is not suppression, it is mastery. God is teaching you how to lead yourself before leading anything else some days. Memories of past pain will surface unexpectedly, not as setbacks, but as reminders of distance traveled. You will notice that what once triggered you now barely moves you. This is healing. This is evidence that the past no longer has the same power over your present. You may begin to feel a stronger pull towards solitude, not isolation, but intentional alone time, moments to recalibrate, moments to listen, moments to reconnect with the core of who you are. Solitude will become a place of renewal rather than loneliness. In stillness, you hear God more clearly. As opportunities continue to unfold, God will remind you that integrity is non-negotiable. How you arrive matters just as much as where you arrive. Short-term gain is never worth long-term damage. Stay aligned, stay honest, stay anchored in truth. There will be moments when you realize that your prayers from years ago are being answered now in ways you did not expect. Some answers will come wrapped in responsibility, others will come wrapped in patience, but all of them will come wrapped in wisdom. God answers prayers with foresight, not impulse. You may notice that your sense of identity becomes more stable. You are no longer defined by roles, achievements, or opinions. You are grounded in who you are becoming. This stability will allow you to navigate change without losing yourself. There will be seasons of acceleration followed by seasons of consolidation. Times when everything moves quickly and times when everything slows down. Both are necessary. Acceleration reveals capacity. Consolidation strengthens foundation. God alternates between the two in tension. As your confidence grows, so will your compassion. You will understand people more deeply. You will recognize struggles without judgment. You will extend grace without enabling. This balance comes from maturity, not naivety. You may feel called to revisit certain skills, talents, or passions you once set aside, not because you failed at them before, but because the timing was not right then. Now, with greater clarity and maturity, those same gifts can be expressed more fully. Nothing was wasted. There will be moments when you feel stretched emotionally. Moments when leadership, responsibility, or decision-making weighs heavily. In those moments, remember to return to the source. Strength is renewed in connection, not isolation. God is also teaching you how to handle visibility, being seen without becoming consumed by it, being acknowledged without becoming dependent on it. Visibility is a tool, not an identity. Use it wisely. You may find yourself reevaluating success, redefining what fulfillment truly means. Success will no longer be measured solely by achievement, but by alignment, by peace, by impact, by integrity. This shift will protect you from burnout and emptiness. There will be days when gratitude overflows unexpectedly, moments when you pause and realize how different your life feels now. Not perfect, not effortless, but aligned. These moments will strengthen your resolve to keep moving forward. You may encounter resistance again, but it will feel different this time. Less intimidating, more manageable. Resistance no longer signals defeat, it signals importance. The enemy resists what matters. As your understanding deepens, you will become more patient with others' processes. You will remember how long your own growth took. You will offer guidance without pressure, support without control. God will continue to refine your voice, teaching you when to speak boldly and when to speak gently. Teaching you that truth does not need volume to be powerful. Consistency carries more weight than intensity. There will be moments when you feel called to let go good things to make room for better things. This requires trust. Letting go always does. But God never removes without intention. He replaces, repositions, and renews. You may begin to notice that your reactions slow down. You respond instead of react. You pause instead of panic. This is wisdom at work. This is evidence of inner stability. As this season continues, you will feel a growing sense of stewardship. Stewardship over your gifts, stewardship over your influence, stewardship over your time and energy. Stewardship requires awareness and accountability. There will be moments when you are tempted to compare your journey with others. Resist this. Comparison distorts perspective. Your path is customized. Your timing is intentional. What God is doing in you does not need to look like what He is doing in someone else. You will begin to trust that uncertainty does not mean absence. God is present even when details are unclear. Faith thrives in mystery, not certainty. As you keep moving forward, your faith will feel less like desperation and more like partnership, less like pleading and more like cooperation. You are learning how to walk with God, not just ask from Him. There will be times when you are asked to step into situations that require courage, conversations that require honesty, decisions that require resolve. Do not underestimate the strength you have developed. You are more capable than you realize. You may notice that your emotional resilience increases. Setbacks do not derail you the way they once did. Disappointments no longer define you. This resilience is not numbness, it is perspective. God is shaping your legacy quietly through daily choices, through consistent integrity, through faithfulness in unseen moments. Legacy is built long before it is recognized. As the journey continues, remain attentive to gratitude. Gratitude anchors you in the present while honoring the past and trusting the future. It keeps your heart open and your spirit aligned. You are not walking alone. Even when the path feels solitary, guidance surrounds you. Support will appear when needed. Strength will rise when required. And as this unfolding continues, layer upon layer, moment by moment, you will realize that this path is still expanding, still revealing, still shaping you in ways you could not have anticipated. And there is no final pause yet, no closing chapter, no finished statement, because what God is doing in you and through you is still in motion, still developing, still calling you forward into deeper trust, greater clarity, and continued becoming. As the journey carries on without interruption, without conclusion, without turning back, moving steadily into all that remains ahead. Chosen ones, as you stand here now at the edge of everything that has been unfolding, let this truth settle deeply within you. Nothing you walked through was wasted. Nothing you endured was meaningless, and nothing that is coming is accidental. The knock God spoke of was never just about a moment, a person, or a surprise. It was about awakening you to the reality that your life is under divine direction. You are not late. You are not overlooked. You are not forgotten. You are positioned. Every season shaped you. Every delay strengthened you. Every silent prayer was heard. Now you move forward with clarity instead of confusion, with faith instead of fear, with purpose instead of pressure. Trust what God has begun, because He does not start stories He does not intend to complete. Walk boldly, remain humble, stay aligned, and know that what unfolds next will not only change your circumstances, but will affirm who you were always meant to become.